Hello my ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. I hope everybody is doing well. Okay, so I'm very excited to be sharing this with you. If you've seen my channel previously, you will know, if you've been around for a while, about my love of James R. Eads and his work, starting with Prisma Visions a few years ago, and then the Light Visions, and then Cosmo Visions, which this deck is one of my favourite decks. I absolutely love this. And this was a gift actually from one of my subscribers, because I missed the Kickstarter campaign. The only deck that I didn't have was the Green Glyphs Lenormand, and the reason why I didn't have that was just I kind of missed the boat. It was a few years ago now when it was released, and I missed the boat on it. You know how you do sometimes, you snooze, you lose. But anyway, about a month ago, I think it was about a month ago, I got an email from the guys who work with James, and they said that they'd seen my channel and they liked the content, and would I be open to receiving an advance copy of James's next Kickstarter campaign. I didn't even have to think about it. I was like, yes please, because I just know whatever he produces, I admire him as an artist, but I knew that whatever he produces is quality, and I love it. Look at that. I mean, just look at this artwork. How beautiful. Let's have a look. So it's a nice little postcard. And so I was thrilled. I was touched to be asked. And I said, yes, that would be wonderful. The Kickstarter campaign for this goes live today. So this video has been recorded. I'm not quite sure what that is. Has been recorded in advance. It's mid-September at the moment. But obviously want you to see this on the day, so you can make up your mind if it's something that you want to back. What I would say is that James's decks go pretty quick in terms of any sort of you know, early bird discounts and things like that. Just look how beautiful this is. So a little bit of an explanation. This is a set, and it's called the Green Glyphs set. Well, the Green Glyphs collection. Here we go. The Green Glyphs collection, set of 4 divination decks and a hardcover glossary. Each of these sets has a book with it anyway, but you can get a separate glossary. Because the idea behind this deck is you can use them individually, or you can create a mega deck, and it's been designed so that, you know, there's endless possibilities really to this. But look how gorgeous this is. I almost don't want to break it open. So I'm just going to give you some information that's been sent. James R. Eads, whether you know or not, is an artist living in Los Angeles, and been making divination decks since 2013. Most commonly known as, I suppose, for the Prisma Visions. This beautiful deck. Just love it. I used to have a wall hanging, and I used to display this deck on the wall, and because it forms a panoramic picture, it was stunning. But he had the idea, I think it was back in 2019, to create a giant hybrid deck one that covers many different forms of divination, but can come together to, you know, create an almost 200 card tool, which I just think is such a cool concept. And, you know, with pandemics and everything else, he says, now here we are in 2022. It took longer than I thought, but I'm happy to say we've made it. So this set contains the 4 divination tools and the glossary. And I wonder what this is. I'm not quite sure what this is because there was nothing to say. Oh, wow, look at this. With this little key. This is gorgeous. I didn't open it. I suppose I need to open it, but take the little key off. I love that. Undoing this though might take a while to. It's got a little knot here. Here we go. I wonder what it is. So let's take out these little sprigs. These can go on my sacred space. Okay, so we'll undo this. And let's see what we've got. Oh, it's what I've got in email form. Oh, that's okay. So this is kind of like information about each of the decks, which I've got an electronic copy of. So that's just to kind of help me explain everything. Look at that little key. Pop that there on my deck. Pop this over here so it's out of the way. All right, where shall we begin? Let's just open this. Let's take them out. Gorgeous. Oh wow, look at the inside of the box. How gorgeous is that? Just beautiful. It's the exquisite detail. I love this prismatic gold gilding. Just gorgeous. Everything about this is beautiful. Look at that. And that's just the display case. Pop that there. We have the book. And then we have the Rune deck. And I'm going to take my time with this review. It doesn't matter, you know. I might put timestamps on so you can have a look. This is the Green Glyphs Lenormand, which I'm so thrilled because, as I said, this is a deck that I didn't have. And whilst the images are the same, it has been updated for this release. And then we have the Green Glyphs Oracle. Oh gosh, look at that. And then the tarot deck, Green Glyphs Tarot. So we have a tarot deck, an oracle deck, a Lenormand, and a Rune deck. Each has its own book, or you can buy, well, you can buy this set actually, and I'll give you the information about that as we go on. We can buy everything separately, including the book. Depends what you want to back on Kickstarter. So as you can see, it's nice and uniformed. It has the same design, so it looks lovely within the box. I guess I'll start with the tarot deck. So let's have a look at this. So I want to give you the correct information. So the tarot deck is $45, but on Kickstarter, the Kickstarter price will be $40. That's really good, isn't it, for an independently produced deck. It's obviously a set of 78 cards. It has this prismatic gold gilding on it as well, and this custom blue box, as you can see here. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is gorgeous. The world is infinite and yet incredibly small. It contains everything we know and all we have yet to know. May these cards reveal the universe unfolding all around you. And may these cards teach you all that must be unlearned in order to move through time with an open heart and a ready mind. James R. Eads. So as you can see, each set has its own book. This book has all the 4 books together plus additional information, because the idea is you use this book if you're creating a mega deck. And here's the cards, which are in this little box. Love that. These are the backs. It has these gorgeous gilded edges. Beautiful. It looks like looks almost copper in one direction, then you turn it into another and it's like a yellow gold. It's incredible. I've never seen gilding like it. So let's take the band off. I don't want to damage the cards, but okay, there we go. Oh, it's exciting. I'm going to bring the camera down so you get a close-up look at this. Okay, so let's have a closer look at this gilding. Look how beautiful that is. Stunning. The cards are quite small. I'm assuming that because we're creating a mega deck, that the cards are all the same size. So it'll be the same size as the Lenormand and the Rune deck and the Oracle deck. Otherwise, it's not going to work as a mega deck. This is the little booklet that comes with it. Now this is a 120 page guidebook. And now I'll just show you what's in here. You get the table of contents, a note from James R. Eads, so telling a little bit about himself, his journey through 2015, 2015, and then 2020. Welcome to Tarot. The Green Glyphs Tarot is a deck of 78 cards that follows the meaning of the traditional tarot system. If you're new to tarot, this is an excellent deck to begin with, as the cards are color-coded based on the presence of the card. Cards with a large presence of yellow and golds are generally uplifting, and cards with orange are unfortunate. And it talks about splitting into 2 groups, the major and minor arcana. So it really is helping people who are new to tarot. It talks about the fool's journey and the cyclical nature of life. The minor arcana is comprised of 56 cards split into 4 different suits. Typically the suits are as follows: Wands, Cups, Swords and Pentacles. In the Green Glyphs Tarot deck, the 4 suits are nearly the same, with the exception of Pentacles replaced by stones. Okay, so that gives you the information here, and then we've got a little paragraph about the card, some keywords and some reversed keywords. I love the little symbols here as well, like the Fool's little knapsack, the Lemniscate, the Magician, etc. Okay, so that's the guidebook. So I want to just read what we've got here. So it says, the Green Glyph Tarot follows the meanings of the traditional tarot system. Again, cards with a large presence of yellow and gold are generally uplifting, and cards with orange are unfortunate. Let's see if we can see. Oh, look at that for a devil card. How amazing is that? I mean, this is, you can recognize this artwork as being, so as you see here, 5 of Wands is an unfortunate card, because it's got the presence of orange in there. I like that, that's really clever. The artwork is just gorgeous, isn't it? I mean, just really, really gorgeous. As I was saying, distinctively James R. Eads, but it's so scaled back. It's very easy using this symbolism. Oh, I just think it's great. Okay, I'm not quite sure if the lighting is quite right, so just bear with. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. There's no shadow on the image now. Yeah, so the deck begins with the Major Arcana, a group of 22 cards that explore the Fool's journey and the cyclical nature of life, and when assembled side by side, form a long panoramic image that links back to the start. So I'm limited on space here, but just to give you an example. So you can see, and you know, this isn't the first time. As I said, the Prisma Visions did this as well with the minor suits. But so when it circles back, let's have a look. I mean, look at these images. When it circles back, so when we get to the World card, look at the Death card. I love that devil. Star, moon, sun, judgment, world. It will bring us back. Oh yes. I mean, there are borders there, but you can see here, so it circles back round the cyclical nature, and it really represents that. So as you can see here, we've got the fall. I love the way that it is quite simple in style, but all of your symbols are there. You've got the dog, you've got the cliff. We have the magician here. I love the size of this as well, with his tools. Our high priestess. I love this empress. Look at her. And the emperor. This is such a cool size. So if I show you against a standard tarot, there's the difference in size. So this is kind of like a playing card size, maybe even a bridge size. It's lovely. The cardstock is wonderful. It is matte, it's sturdy, and it has that lovely sound to it. So we have a high priest rather than the Hierophant. So we have the high priestess and the high priest. I quite like when that happens. This is a nice thick deck as well because the cardstock is so lovely. Let's put these around this side and can keep adding to them. So we have our lovers. The Chariot is cool. I like that, balancing on this unicycle. Let's see, just so you get an idea of what information you get in the book. I'll read from the Chariot. So it does describe the image. It says, balancing atop a unicycle, the fool attempts to direct their chariot forward. The chariot is a sign of determination and strength. While the chariot may be difficult to maneuver, the fool knows that to persevere, they must keep focused and stay the course. So I love that as well, that it is the fool's journey. The fool is represented in the card, even in the lovers here, which is this card, just going back. It will say, with the established set of beliefs and understanding of the self, the fool finds love. Two lovers embrace at the junction of a pathway, each open to developing a deeper connection. The fool's garment is stitched with the geomantic symbol for the masculine, the lover's garment with the feminine, and the lover's garment with the feminine. So we've got Pua and Puella. It is the partnership that the two halves become whole. I love it. Oh, look at strength. Isn't that fantastic? I love elephants. The Hermit. This is so simple, but so effective. The Wheel of Fortune is really interesting. Let's see what it says for the Wheel of Fortune. So, card 10. On board a small boat, the fool approaches dangerous rapids with no paddle to steer clear of the impending doom. Will the fool tumble to their demise, or will fate lend a helping hand? I like that. The Wheel of Fortune is always spinning. Where it may land is often up to the universe. So what a great way to depict the Wheel of Fortune. Rather than a spinning wheel, we're seeing the fool on his journey in this boat. You know, what do they say? Up the creek without a paddle. But, you know, what's going to happen? How will that fate deal? Will he go over the edge to his peril, or will, you know, will the universe step in and take him on a different course? That is clever. We have Justice, the Hanged Man, Death, oh, Temperance, love this devil. I really do love this devil. The Tower. That's interesting, isn't it? Have a quick look at what the Tower says. The shadow of the devil grabs the tower and uproots it from the ground it was firmly planted in. This drastic upheaval arrives as the fool comes to terms with their newfound state. It is out of the fool's control to change the forces of fate, but they can move through these changes with grace and an openness to understand why this uprooting was necessary. We have the Star. I love these together as well. Look at that. So the Star, the Moon and the Sun. We have Judgment. And the World. And again, that comes full circle. I love it. This is such a cool concept. Okay, so the Minor Arcana is comprised of 56 cards split up into 4 different suits. Each suit tells a myth or a story and takes the reader on a journey as an additional aid in understanding the intricacies of each suit. So I wonder if the book tells you the myth or the story. So we're on Wands, aren't we? Let's see if I can find Wands. Here we go. So the Wands is how humans found magic. And then you go into the card meanings. I once dreamt there was a tree that bloomed with deep green flowers, and inside each flower was a human being. They were all unique in their own way, yet woven so intricately together as if the tree would die if a single flower fell to the ground. When I came across this tree in a dream, it speaks to me about the goodness in the world. It shows me how the wind feels in August and how blue can seem more green when next to yellow, and how the light behind your eyes matches the light behind mine and his and hers and yours and theirs. It shows me places that still pulse with magic, so untouched and unknown. Then a single flower falls from the tree. As it lands on my shoulder, I am shaken awake. Oh, that is so beautifully written. Oh, wow. That is gorgeous. So let's have a look at the wand suit. Hark at the sound that the cards make. Just so, such quality. I love the wand with the flower inside. 7, this broken wand. Ten of Wands. So we've got that orangey feel, which is, you know, as it said before, that the orangey ones are kind of depicting an unfortunate circumstance rather than an uplifting circumstance. I love that. Okay, so cups. I think I saw it say elephants carry water. The mystic sees the universe in a bowl of water and finds the brightest light in the darkest places. We put on shells as if we were warriors preparing for battle. We decorate our shells with stories that burn brighter than they ever did at their origin. The mind does this to offer hope for future stories that may tell better tales of better times. If you look closely, a bowl of water holds the history of the entire universe, and then a single drop changes it all. Oh, this is going to be my favourite suit. I just love elephants. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Adorable. Wow, look at our King of Cups. Okay, so then we have our sword suit, and this is the first star. You must be the first to disregard the moon, as if it were something lesser than the greatness of everything combined. As if the moon were not why you and I are you and I. And if the moon wasn't the only thing that could sway the sea, as if the moon was a burden, something you had to carry each night, to hate the moon, you must be the first. So here's the sun, all bright and bothered, burning and blinding too, but you love the sun with ferocious affection, as if it were the moon. You must be the first. Ugh, gorgeous. I am struggling to read it a little bit just because the font is quite small and it's dark. I don't know if you can tell I'm doing this by artificial light, so I do apologise if I'm not reading it perfectly. So this is the first star. Look at that. The star and the moon. And then we have our final suit, which is the pentacles, the coins, but as he said at the beginning, it's the stones. So this is the sea gives to the land. See the water, feel the wind, touch the earth, it's all a gift. The whole world and you in it, miraculous, brilliant, shining earth. You didn't pay for the thumping heart in your chest. It was given to you. It may be broken, weak or shattered, but it is yours. You didn't barter for those beautiful eyes. You didn't plead for those hands to work. Your life is a gift. There's nothing you could do to deserve the world, and yet here you are, with an open heart, open eyes, and open hands, ready to accept the sea with whatever it may give and whatever it may take. So this is about the combination between the sea and the earth. I mean, that's perfect, isn't it? That kind of balance there between the two. It's beautiful. Oh, look at that. Oh, and there's the Fool. Do you see? Right there at the end. Love it. Okay, so that is the Green Glyphs Tarot. We will have a look now at the Green Glyphs Oracle. I think I'll keep, let me pop that in there to keep the book with it. But let's see how the Oracle deck goes with it. That's the Rune one. Okay, so Green Glyphs Oracle. Oh, look at this. This looks like it has, you know, the gilding that I mentioned, the prismatic gold gilded edges. It looks like it has it within the Oracle as well, on the face of the cards. So this is a set of 50 cards, which is a decent number for an Oracle deck. It has the same prismatic gilded edges, and yes, prismatic gold accents on the card faces. And this one has an 80-page, look at that, look how beautiful this is. It has an 80-page guidebook. What's it say here? Look at this. A door presents itself in a dream. It's a simple door, made of wood with a brass knob. It's nothing remarkable, but where it leads is all that matters. Once the door is open, it can never be closed again. May this oracle reaffirm your choices so you can cast fear aside for what lies on the other side. Gorgeous. So the book is the same style. This is an 80-page book. The cards, oh, look at this. So you see how it builds up into this mega deck. Let's pop that there, and we'll take the band off. Oh, taking a couple of cards with it. That's okay. Oh, these are beautiful. These are really stunning. I mean, everything's stunning so far, but I love the prismatic gold accents on the card. Look, oh, how beautiful. So you see that it's the same cardstock, same size, same thickness, same gilding and backs, so that, you know, you can merge these together. You can work with them separately, by all means. That's why you've got separate books. But then we'll take a look at this book at the end, which is designed for your mega deck. Okay, so let's have a look at these. So we've got acorns. We'll stop at one randomly as well and have a look at what the book says so you get an idea. Broken glass. Oh, that's beautiful. Candles. Let's have a look at candles. I can't wait. So candles. Lots of information in here as well, decoding the cards. Card name, green glyph for the card, a few sentences about the cards, keywords, reverse keywords. Let's find candles. Here's candles. So it says 7 candles light up a cold, dark space. Ancient glyphs are carved into the wax of the thicker candles. Oh yes, the 3 there at the back. As an attempt to ward off evil, these candles were lit with great intention for... I found this on the web. Sorry. These candles were lit with great intention for inner healing. Now that they have shown themselves to you, it is up to you to follow through. And the keywords for this are seance, ritual, self-care, and contemplation. And a reverse would be mysterious, evil, diabolical, or clouded judgment. I cannot believe how beautiful these cards are. We have cat, look at his eyes. Chair. Chimes. And I love oracle cards like this. As you've heard me mention with the ones like Oracle X, etc. Very simple. Cuckoo clock. We have crystal ball. Look at this. Demons. Dinosaur. Wow. We have door. Look at that. Drain. Enoki. Etch and press. Feather. Fig. Flamingo. Oh, this is beautiful. Gazebo. Giant tooth. We have ghost. Goat. I love that it's chewing the board around the card. Hummingbirds. Inkwell. Lantern. Lost parrot. We have the mantis. Mantle. Mites. Morning glory. Onion. Ostrich. You really get the sense of movement in that image. Owl. Paint can. Phone call. We have the pig. Playing cards. Plane. portal. Look at that. Rooster. The runic dice. Snail. Spoon. We have stone tablet. Swing set in the rain. Talisman. Tincture. Willow tree. Wisteria. Yesterday's coffee. And then we have a box. I want to look up yesterday's coffee because that's intriguing me. So yesterday's coffee says, there it is, the cup of coffee you only took a few sips from before you placed it on the surface that has become a graveyard of forgotten cups. Do you know what? I know exactly what they mean. I'm so engrossed in this, I haven't barely took a sup and that's lukewarm now. The cold, day-old coffee is almost enticing. You decide to take a swig. It doesn't taste so good, but it reminds you of something you have forgotten about. What is it? And so the keywords are a reminder, something recently forgotten, daily routine, or hidden in plain sight. And then we have this kind of mystery card. And the right up here says, is everything in front of you truly as you see it? If we approach the cube, knowing only of squares, is it still a cube? Instead of answering questions, the cube asks you more. It is a relic from the unknown, and as long as you try to figure it out, it will never open. Oh, so it's like a puzzle. Okay, that's really cool. So there's 50 cards, the same gilding, etc., that would go together with this. I'm going to pop them there. Okay, so just to give you a little bit more information about the Oracle deck then. An Oracle deck is simply a deck of cards that deviates from the traditional system of divination. Many of the cards in this deck came from my own universe of symbolism. For example, you will find many gazebos scattered throughout my work. I use gazebos as a symbol of celebration and appreciation for the present. In the other green glyph decks, I use colour as a key for understanding the impact of the card as either positive or unfortunate, which we spoke about with the tarot deck. I chose not to include colour in this deck because I didn't want to impose any previous connotations on the imagery. So that's really interesting. So rather than colour, that's why we've got these beautiful gilded, what do you call it, accents. Okay, so let's move on and we'll look at the Green Glyphs rune deck. So this is a set of 24 cards and it retails for £40 and it will be on Kickstarter for, $40, and it'll be on Kickstarter for $30. I don't know if I gave the price for the Oracle, but they're £40 and I'm sorry, $40, I keep saying pounds, please forgive me. $40 and $35 on Kickstarter. And this is a set of 24 cards, again with the prismatic gold gilded edges, and this is in the orange box. They're all, you know, uniformed in terms of their designs. Okay, so something about an included dice. Oh, look at these. Oh wow, we get these metal copper rune dice as well. That's cool. They're really heavy and beautiful. So they're in the bottom, as you can see. So for this, it says, may the runes guide you through future journeys with grace, compassion, and understanding. May the runes enlighten you on how to be soft in the face of fear and how to go deeper even when you don't feel brave. And may the runes teach you how to let it all go, not expecting anything to come back. Oh, I'm loving this. Look at the little design on the underneath. These dice, I've not used rune die before, but they're pretty cool. You can see it's the Elder Futhark. I can't speak. Futhark, Elder Futhark runes. So cool. Again, all designed to fit the mega deck. Book is the same. There's lots of other information as well. I'm just kind of going to the, you know, the explanations, as you can see here, the descriptions and meanings. All right, so let's pop them there and we'll have a look at this. Again, we get the same design on the back. Just take that out like that so it's easier to take it off. Okay, so James says, this deck is my take on the Elder Futhark runes, an early Nordic system of divination that has been around for millennia. Typically, runes are found in the form of stones, dice, talisman, or other objects with carvings. When I first started to learn about runes, I found it difficult to relate the Nordic symbol to the meaning. To help myself better understand the meanings behind each rune, I created this deck of cards. Each card has a runic symbol, the traditional name, and an image that encompasses the meaning behind the symbol. What is helpful with the Elder Futhark runes is that the meanings are relatively simple. Each rune conveys a concept or feeling that was prevalent thousands of years ago and still remains relevant today. So if you're used to runes, then you know you can see Timon does the rune symbol at the bottom with the title as well, and then the depiction which illustrates the rune. The quality of these cards are incredible. I used to have that one around my neck on a rune pendant. Wow. So that one, as I said, is a 24 set of 24 cards. So they're building up, as you can see. So the last one to look at is the Lenormand, green gift Lenormand. And this is a 41, just show you the back, a 41 card set. And again, with the same gilding, etc. So beautiful. This one's in the yellow box. So we've got the yellow, we've got orange, we've got green, and then we've got blue for the tarot. So in this one, it says, there are many paths that have led you here, and there are many paths that lead away from here. May these cards recall the paths that you have travelled. May they illuminate the paths that need guidance. and may they reveal that there are some paths better left unknown. And so, from what I understand, it is the same as what was released previously, only it's been updated for the new packaging, the new gilding and everything else to match this mega deck. So this comes with an 80-page guidebook, and it retails at $35, and it will be $30 Kickstarter price. And he says the origins of Lenormand can be traced back to 1800. Lenormand is comprised of a set of 36 pictorial symbols that can be used to tell a story and offer insight into the future. In this updated version of Green Glyphs Lenormand, originally published in 2019, the box, card finish and gilding have been improved. And again, it's to you know, to work in tandem with these other cards. So here we have our Rider, Clover. You see, you get the playing card association, Ship, House. And I love now how you can see the art style. This was done in 2019. And the art style is different to Cosmovision's and Prismavision's, although it's still, in my opinion, distinctively James R. Eads' art style. But now it makes sense, you know, if this was the art that was released for this deck in 2019, and you want to have a cohesive deck that can be used as this mega deck, combining the 4 different types of divination of tarot, oracle, runes and Lenormand, then it's perfect. The gentleman, the lady, so we get 2 ladies and 2 gentlemen, and we also get a person. So that is great. So that, you know, is, well, 2 persons and the albatross. I think that is really inclusive. So 2 gentlemen, 2 ladies, same sex couples, but also, you know, not referring to gender, referring to person. Brilliant. So there's the 4 decks. I mean, can you imagine? It's gonna be a massive deck. There we are. That's the 4 decks together into one super mega deck. I've now got the pleasure of sorting them out. It won't be too difficult. So I'm just going to place them there and we'll have a look. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can have a look at this book. Let me just adjust this light so we're not okay. So let me, don't want to damage anything. I mean, this is a beautiful set, from the outer packaging to, it's just quality, absolute quality. And this book, oh wow. Take this off. This book is stunning. It has almost like a leather feel. It is not leather, I can tell it's not leather, but it has that kind of like a, it's not even the rose petal don't know if you can see the stitch, but it's almost like, yeah, it's like a faux leather. Beautiful. And on the side here, it says the Green Glyphs Glossary, James R. Eads. And look at that on the front. That's beautiful. It is gilded, just like the cards. So this contains the 4 books. Oh, look at the inside. Oh my goodness. I don't know if this is too bright. Let's move it there a minute. So as you can see, we've got the table of contents. So we've got the tarot, we've got Lenormand, we've got runes, and we've got the oracle. And then we have pages 343 all together, creating your hybrid deck. So as you can see, it's got the tarot here, everything that we've seen in those individual books, all put into one, all the way through. We've got a couple of these ribbons for dividers. It was actually one, it's just because it was folded in. So when we get to 343, we've got this here, using a mega deck. The Green Glyphs Glossary includes this extra section that isn't covered in the other smaller guides. My intention in creating this collection is to create a giant hybrid deck that bridges 4 different methods of divination together. If you own all 4 Green Glyph decks, you can combine them into a mega oracle deck. If you only own a few of the decks, you can also employ the method in this section. So it's quite good for that. So it's for combining more than one deck, whether it's just a couple of decks, look at this, or whether you've combined it into this mega deck. Okay, so we'll just have a quick look through this. So using pieces, so that's, you know, breaking it up and using it however you'd want to. It does not have a set way of using the deck. I consider this deck of extra cards you can dip into, but so you can combine them. You can combine all the cards together, reading 3 cards. So it gives you an example here. So you've got a rune, you've got a tarot, and you've got an oracle card there. Painting a portrait. It's great just having these different voices, isn't it, that you can call upon. There's a Celtic cross you can do using all the cards. The hybrid grand tableau, if you're used to reading grand tableaus as part of reading Lenormand. Grand tableau checklist. And now you know. I love it. So, does it give you a price for the book? Let's have a look. So, the glossary, this book, which is beautiful quality, is £30. Sorry, $30. I will get this right. $30 retail or $25 Kickstarter price. And it is 380 pages. And it is gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous. So if you wanted to buy the full box set, combining all 4 decks, oops, so we've got the tarot, the oracle, the rune deck, the Lenormand deck, and then the book. Let me make sure I don't knock the camera. So all of these together, this retails at $180, or the Kickstarter price is $155 for all 4 decks plus the glossary. Wow. A little bit more information. Card spec. The cards are 350 GSM on art paper with a UV matte finish, and the dimensions is 2.5 plus times 3.5 inches. Okay, thank you for watching, everybody. I think this is a beautiful set. Let me know your thoughts. It's launching on Kickstarter now, so do head over there. All the information is in the description below. Thanks for watching. I'm excited to work with this deck in its various combinations. Yes, and thank you to James and the team for thinking of me and sending me this set. It's fantastic, as I knew it would be. All right, everybody, thanks for watching, and until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.